Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Casey. I saw your problems that your dad texted me. So let me answer those for you and help you and tell you why the answer is what it is. Sorry, I have to turn on my document camera. It's taking time. So how's your morning? What are you up to today? Oh, wow. I didn't plug it in. Sorry. Probably just like stop this recording and do a whole nother one because I'm just, there we go. Okay. So first of all three of your questions have to do with absolute value and they have to do with inequalities. So I think it's important that we talk about quickly the basics of why there are two answers for an absolute value inequality and an absolute value equation. All right, so I have this as, let's say it's this. Okay, so the question that I'll ask you is, you know that absolute value means that how far away from zero a number is, right? So right now you're just seeing, oh, what numbers can I plug into here? And they're 5 spaces away from zero. So obviously you're gonna have a 5. I could plug in 5. And I know that says less than, I realize that. So let's do equals. Absolute value of 5 is 5. Then the absolute value is -5, and that also comes out as a +5, which means that I have 2 values that my unknown can be. So then I'm gonna say, let's do this one. Oh. Okay, I'm just making these sample ones up as I go. Okay, now you're like, what can I put in here that's a number less than or equal to 8? Okay, but I obviously have to solve it. So what happens in math is I have to create, because absolute value, as you know, has a positive version and a negative version. And so that means that there's always going to be 2 answers to absolute value. It also means, I know you didn't ask, but I'm a math teacher and I'm going to tell you anyways. It also means that if I were to graph an absolute value, I would have a negative side and I would have a positive side. So what this is I'm going to make 2 equations for this, and then I'm going to do the way it's written. So the one side is the same as it's given to you. So I'll do x plus 3 is less than or equal to 8. And then the other one is going to be the x plus 3 stays the same, but I switch the inequality and I make the number negative. Because remember how there's a negative version and a positive version up here. That means that I'm going to have to do a -8. And the reason that I switch the inequality symbol is that if I go and I say, oh, I have a -5 and then I have a +5, then my solution, my shading, you know how you have to shade inequalities, my shading is going to have to go a different direction. So if my shading goes a different direction, all of my answers are going to be on the other side of 0. So you have to switch the inequality symbol, because now this -8 means everything's going to go over to the other side of 0. Right now, really?
Yes.
Go.
I need to sharpen.
Sorry. Okay, let's do your problems. I have a 9-year-old son.
Come on.
I have to figure out how to press pause. Okay, I'm back. So the first question I saw was 38. So in 38, you know what I need to do? One like what I just showed you. Let's not jump 3 steps forward. So I'm gonna have 2 questions. I'm gonna leave space. So I'll do one, remember it's the same as it's given to you. And then the other side, I'm gonna do, make it a -9, and I have to switch the inequality symbol, okay? I'm gonna get 2 answers every time I have an absolute value. So, dun, 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 dun. 4x is greater than or equal to 16. X is greater than or equal to 4. Okay. 4x is less than or equal to -2. X is less than or equal to -1/2. Did you know, I hope you knew, that less than or equal to or greater than or equal to is going to be a closed circle on your graph? And so this is a closed circle. And also, if there is no line underneath it, it is an open circle. Okay, here's a way that you can remember that. Less than or equal to has an extra line. So there's extra stuff in the middle that you have to shade. Okay, I always teach my kids little like tricks and things like that. So then I'm graphing. And so what you're graphing is a 4 and a -1/2. So on my 4, this is going to be a closed circle. It says greater than or equal to. So it's going to be bigger, greater than 4, which is everything to this side. Okay. Then x is less than or equal to -1/2. So there's -1/2. This is also going to be a closed circle. And it's less than or equal to, less left. Okay, this is called an or, by the way, because you go one way, oh, the other. And I always sing that song for my kids too. So this is called an or. An or inequality goes in opposite directions, and inequality connects and is together. Or, and. Okay. So your next one. This 26, that's a hard question because it gives you equations. Honestly, the really best way for you to get this is to work out all 4 choices and see which one is that graph. It's just going to be your quickest method. You're not going to have to stress out and, solve this, because right now when I look at it, it says -7 and it's upstairs in the back. I got a -7. It's an open circle, which means it's going to be a less than or equal to or greater than, but the shading goes to the right, which means greater. So I'm going to do greater than, and this is going to be x. So that's this. And then this one was at 1. So it's at 1. Where's the shading though? Which direction is it going? The shading is going to the left, which means smaller, less than. I'm not putting a line underneath it because it doesn't say or equal to. It's not a closed circle. And this is what you're going to try to obtain when you do all 4 choices. You just got to do all 4 choices. There's no shortcut, because this isn't even going to get you, because I wrote your answer over here on the side. These 2 aren't going to get you that unless you actually solve this, make your 2 equations. This right one, just in case you forgot, has to be flipped. And the left one is the same as given. Oh, x plus 3 is less than, or is greater than -4. Okay. So work all 4 choices out. Sorry about that. All right, 38. Ooh, compound inequality. So a compound inequality is 2. This doesn't relate to absolute value, but its solution is going to be 2 numbers on the number line. So here we go. I think that your best bet for this one, to make your life easy, is to do one equation with just the left-hand side. Okay, and then another equation, I'll just do a different color. And then another just with this one. Okay, so my pencil and my blue. And then you just solve. And then the graph, I'll just solve really quickly for you. Dun, dun, dun. Oh. Yes, babe. Okay, but obviously it's backwards, so I'm going to do, flipping it gives me that. Then I add 1 to both sides. Okay, it's 52, not 51. Divide by 2. And you know, when you divide by a negative on an inequality, you flip the inequality symbol. It's the same thing I was talking about before. Like the answer set goes completely to the other side of 0. So when you divide by a negative number, that means that my answer is going to become the opposite sign, which means that my answer goes from one side of 0 to the other side of 0. So you have to flip the inequality symbol. X equals 26. Yep. Less than or equal to. Maybe I should slow down because I'm making too many mistakes. Okay, so then you would have 2 closed circles, right? And I'm going to do 21 and they're both closed. Greater than 21, less than 26. Greater than 21 goes this way, less than 26 goes this way. So I'm going to have an and. Remember I was telling you the difference and versus or? That's an and inequality. So there you go. Good luck tomorrow on your entrance exam placement test. Sounds like you're putting a lot of work in, which means it's going to pay off. So good job. And I hope this helped. I hope it helped. And have a good day. Bye.